Where is fixing the pass defense on that list?
Yeah, I think there's definitely, obviously, clearly things to fix back there, but it's a much different agenda. You're playing the triple option. There's way different situations going on. Not that there wasn't things that could have been cleaned up with eye control, with technique, with fundamentals, all those kind of things from the Air Force game, but we're talking about a much different situation now where today, obviously, in my opinion, fixing not just in the pass defense, but everything that's accumulated over the last 3 weeks. This week is about, we have to have a great game plan, number one. Number two, it's got to be simple but not easy. And what I mean by that is it's not like we're not going to do anything, but it's got to be things like, when we get lined up in formations, here's the call, here's the tool, there's where your eyes are at, play ball. I think, a mistake that I've probably made in the last few weeks is chasing every play, trying to give them an answer on every single play. And, you just can't do that. You got to have, sound rules and let your guys get lined up and communicate and play the call and let's roll. So I think that, we've got to get back to that. We've got to defend, their offense. They do a great job with formations, with shifts, with motions, all those kind of things, probably to see what coverage you're in, get their playmakers in a position where they can have a good matchup, those kind of things. So we've got to be able to communicate fast, get lined up, and execute, period, point blank.
Spencer was saying that, there's a lot of underlying facts and things to look at when you look at the defense against Air Force, how difficult they are to play against and that. I guess from a scale from 1 to 10, how happy were you with the defense's performance against Air Force?
I think that you'd have to compartmentalize that. Very, very happy with physicality, and then that's not just the D-line on the perimeter, corners tackled, happy with tackling, happy with the effort to the football, happy with the mentality of the team, not so happy with some eye control, some run fits, some techniques, which I know BJ was talking about in the pass game, but also in the run game, right? Like the very first series that misfit hit, and that was guys at the first level, guys at the second level, guys at the third level, got that settled down. What Air Force does a great job of, and I think that it's a very overlooked situation with their coaches. They have really good football coaches. They've got answers, and people are like triple option, triple option, triple option. There was some triple option out there, but in the second half, man, they went to gun +1 runs, and they were throwing the football. Like, those guys do a great job. They made some great adjustments. We had to adjust. They made more. It was just kind of back and forth all game, and we missed some opportunities to, like, you don't get Air Force in third and extra very often, and we missed out on those opportunities. One was 100% right here, raising my hand. I chickened out of a call. I should have called it. I didn't, because, you get worried about, are they going to run trap and draw? Are they going to run triple? And so that one of them completely on me, had nothing to do with any player on the field. There was other times where we didn't maximize those opportunities. So the disappointing thing is what could have went for, if you win that game, and it's, I don't even know what the score was. If you want me to be honest with you, you know what it was. Yeah. So if it's, 23, if you can get 2 of those touchdowns off the board, everybody walks away feeling pretty good. But it didn't. So we got a lot of stuff to clean up.
I asked about Ty last week, but it feels like when you get, to college, you go from learning the game, and then once you conquer that, you play the game, and once you conquer that, you can, understand. You play with a lot of confidence, you can dominate a game. It just feels like he's moving into that category of understanding he can really impact the game.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Jay, I talk about it with those guys. There's a few guys on our team, and one of them you mentioned, and there's some others. I could watch those guys practice football all day, just the way that they practice. Our Thursday practice is a pro glide, a higher speed walkthrough. I could watch Ty Benefield practice on Thursday all day because it's so urgent. It's so dialed. His eyes are so right. His first 2 steps are flying. He just does things the right way, and he's figuring out, much like other people on our team, if he practices that way in the week, he will play that way on Saturday. Some guys have not figured that out yet. And so their practice has to become their game day reality. And we have to practice better at certain positions. There's guys that are doing a great job, and that happened on Saturday. There's some guys that kind of, I'm getting my feet back under me on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'm kind of ready to roll, and Thursday's a walkthrough. Like, we need to pick up the urgency at every single position on defense.
With the hits he makes, just how much discipline does it take to just not only make the hit, but make sure it's a clean hit?
Yeah, a lot of discipline. There's almost some luck anymore. Not an excuse because everybody in the country has to do it, but it's getting hard to be a defender on some of those open field hits because it's like, they don't want you to go high, but you don't want to go too low, especially if it's the quarterback. If the quarterback, it's hard to time those things up. So Ty has done a really good job of striking with his shoulder and striking in the strike zone. And so to your point, I think there is a lot of discipline on that. And then sometimes when you leave your feet, the hard ones for me are always like, if you leave your feet and you're going as fast as he's going, then all of a sudden a runner puts their head down. Like, you're supposed to not call that, but they're supposed to do a lot of stuff, and it's hard to be a referee too because that thing's happening bang bang. So, but a lot of discipline by him to throw his body where he is right now.
I'm sure you want to hype up all your players, but just how far can Ty Benefield go? What's his ceiling?
No idea, none. To me, he plays on Sunday. We'll see what happens after that. There's been a lot of great players in college football that have had the ability to play on Sunday and have gotten there and haven't done a good job, have gotten there and been unbelievable, haven't got there at all. His ceiling, I don't think he has a ceiling right now. He's just got to keep going, and everything that he wants is in front of him. And I think that he moves in the right direction. I think he has the mental, the physical, all that kind of stuff. He's just got to keep doing it. As with, there's other guys on our team that maybe haven't figured it out, like Jay mentioned, quite as early as Ty. Even some guys that are seniors, like, they're going to start to realize, man, if I practice the way that I want to play, then I'm going to play that way, and then the scouts will notice me, and then we'll get drafted, and then maybe I'll get a chance to do it on Sunday. But it all starts with your prep, your recovery, your practice, and right now Ty's got that figured out, and he just needs to stay on that trajectory.
Passing attack for App State. I mean, obviously number 3 in the country. What are you seeing there? Spencer kind of joked they're probably licking their chops coming in here. I mean, how do you kind of see that matchup?
Yeah, I think I talked to some of the DBs this morning. We haven't met yet. We'll meet this afternoon with the defensive players. But I'm like, guys, we're playing the real deal this week. They're going to throw the football. They got a good quarterback. They've got good receivers. They've got NFL experience on their staff that understands how to manipulate coverage with formations and movers. They're going to know what we're in some of the time. Sometimes they're not. We're playing that back and forth game with them, but that's going to be a challenge to the back end. And once again, like, I know there were some issues. There's no getting around that. I'll take our secondary over anybody, period, point blank. And it's my responsibility to get those guys to play because I think they're talented. I believe in those young men, and I think that they're going to take this challenge this week and they're going to run with it.
I don't know if it's the best way to describe this, but how much like the perfect amount of psycho does Marco Notriani have? I mean, just, you know what I mean? Like, just he after the game, he said something along the lines of like, if you don't like playing the triple option as a linebacker, you should switch positions or something like that. Like, how much of the perfect amount does he have?
No, he's like you'd call him like the old school, what you'd think of as Midwest Mike, right? Like, put that neck roll on and do not run the ball in the box. I love Marco, man. He's smarter than me, like, for sure. Like, the hard thing for me working with him sometimes is he's like a dang computer. Like, he knows what I said like 2 weeks ago, and he's like, you didn't tell me to spill that one. And I'm like, I got to think back on it. So, like, it makes you a better coach because you got to be a little bit careful around Marco, what you say, because he's going to remember it and he's going to execute it. And then once he knows what he's got going on in front of him and he can diagnose it, he's going full speed, man. I love watching him play. He's another guy. Love watching him practice.
Spencer today dropped the stats are for losers line, and Braxton Feely had 1 tackle in the Air Force game. How would you explain his impact on the game?
Braxton Feely, in my opinion, having a lot of games versus the triple option, played one of the best games as a defensive tackle I've seen. And once again, stats, not going to go in the stat book, but when you go watch that film and you watch centers and guards and tackles getting knocked back and him holding doubles and keeping Marco and some of those guys free, you'll understand why he's so important to this football team. And one tackle, like, I don't know. I guess that's not cool for anybody, but like that's why I don't look at those like that. The numbers mean very little to me. Like I care about that one. Obviously, like we would like the numbers on defense to be lower. I mean, nobody's saying that's not going to happen, shouldn't happen, wouldn't be a goal. But like that's not the overarching thing here. The overarching thing is for us to win football games, and then hopefully, by we get this thing moving in the right direction on defense. We're playing really good defense, and the numbers are great. And still, I'm not going to look. Like, I don't really care. Like, last year we had, the number 1 sacks in the country. The only thing that meant to me was I was happy for our kids, and a lot of people wanted to know what we were doing. So I got to meet some really cool people in the offseason, and then I get to see some of that stuff happening on Saturday. But otherwise, like, it means zero to me.
Coolest person you met?
What's that?
Coolest person you met in that process?
Oh man, there was actually a lot of people, like a lot of coaches. I don't want to say because I don't want people to know that scheme and stuff, but a lot of coaches that reached out that I didn't ever know or didn't know anyone at their program and got a chance to Zoom or meet in person. Just people from programs across the country, got to pick their brain on some things too. So it was really cool.
Anything else? Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Coach.